It's 2 minutes early.
Oh.
Please join me in singing the words as we light our chalice. They are different tonight, and they are in the order of service. Please, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Please join me in saying the words as we light our chalice. They are different than normal, and they are in the order of service. In this holiday season, throughout the year to come, as always in our lives, may we know we are loved, may we share the love we have, and may we be the love we wish to see.
Thank you, and welcome all here in this place tonight. I have been trying to come here since 9:30 this morning. That's when our services usually start at 10. So I've been a little bit off-footed here, and we're all still trying to figure out what this is going to look like tonight. But I see the love and the grace and the kindness of the human spirit in this place, and you know you are welcome here, and we're looking forward to seeing what happens as we spend our time together. A couple things I want to draw to your attention. One is that there is a new sign of us that's out on the road. I want to thank the Titus family for making that possible. The New Testament has always talked about signs and wonders. There's the sign. The wonder is already up. There's some announcements that I would wish for you to take a look at that's in your bulletin, especially those of you who are guests and visitors. And my Christmas gift to those of you who are guests tonight is that I'm not going to ask you to stand. I'm going to just let you be who you are in this place tonight. But there are some announcements that are in there, some activities that are taking place in our congregation. You may wish to be a part of that. So take these inserts and fold them up and take them with you, that you might come back and see. We have our music on Malthus that's coming up on January the 11th. We have a fabulous line of musicians that come and perform here on a regular basis, and I really would encourage you to come and be a part for that. Are there any announcements that I should make? Ann, anything? Okay, all right. Let's continue to keep our hearts directed towards our season and our spirit as we turn in our hymnals to hymn number 225. May we stand together and sing all 4 verses of O Come, Emmanuel.
Thank you for your donations of non-perishable food in support of the Sandalwood Food Bank and the Bluffton Self Help. We welcome your weekly contributions that can be placed on the table in the back of the sanctuary. Also, in support of the work we do within this beloved community and beyond our doors, we will pass a basket for your contributions. If you are a first or second time visitor, please let the basket pass. Your presence is your gift to us. Thank you for your generosity.
Okay, so what would Christmas be, a Christmas service be, without singing a few hymns? So we have members of the seven principals up here. Yeah, a few carols, I should say. Christmas carols. We have some members of the seven principals up here to lead you. The words will be up on the screen here. And now's the time for you to shine. do two more. Just hang on.
I've changed up the affirmation up to number 615. It's in the back of the hymnals. When the song of angels is still, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flock, the work of Christmas begins, to find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among the brothers, to make music in the heart.
Okay, we got two more for you. Ready, John? If you are willing and able, how about if we stand for this last one here? And at the end of this, if you're willing and able, offer a hand and a Merry Christmas to your neighbor. Here we go.
So I've been doing this since 1981, and this is still my favorite moment, to watch the congregation do what you just did. Thank you for that gift to me, and I appreciate that. That was sweet. So I'm going to ask that we begin to rethink ourselves just a little bit here tonight, because this is a special night, and I want to try and make a special point, if it's possible. I'm going to ask you, if you would please, to keep your hymnals open to the 600 readings in the back. You were at 615. I want to read to you from 616, because it sets the stage for where I want to try and go with the message tonight. So bear with me as we get ourselves into this place. In 616, let me read to you, is titles, For So the Children Come. For so the children come, and so they have been coming, always in the same way they come. Born at the seed of man and woman, no angels herald their beginnings, no prophets predicted their future courses, no wise men see a star to show where to find the babe that will save humankind. Yet each night, a child is born. A child is born is a holy night. Fathers and mothers sitting beside their children's cribs feel glory in the sight of a new life beginning. And they ask, where and how will this new life end, or will it ever end? Each night a child is born is a holy night, a time for singing, a time for wondering, and a time for worshiping. The first time I read this a number of years ago, I began to ask myself certain questions about what this birth is like. And by the way, just in the reading, in the 1 minute it took me to read that particular section, 260 children were born in our country. And so, minute after minute after minute after minute, and I began to think of the power and the capabilities and the possibilities that are in these children who were born on a very holy night, their night that made it holy. I was sharing the directions I wanted to go with a friend of mine, and she promptly texted me this message from this message from a 20th century English mystic, Caryll Houselander. She writes this about a journey she was making into London on the train. She says, I was in an underground train, a crowded train, in which all sorts of people jostled together, sitting and strap-hanging, workers of every description, going home at the end of the day. Quite suddenly, she writes, I saw with my mind, but as vividly as a wonderful picture, Christ in them all. But I saw more than that. Not only was Christ in every one of them, dying in them, living in them, rejoicing in them, sorrowing in them, but because he is in them and because they were here, the whole world was here too. And all those people who had lived in the past and all those yet to come. Ms. Houselander, of course, writes from her Christian perspective as a pretty liberal Catholic, but she does bring that character to her understanding. And one of the things that started to happen after the end of World War II is so many of the Londoners began to go to psychiatrists and psychologists for help and support for obvious reasons. And some of them could not help, but somehow they heard about Ms. Houselander, and they would send their unfixable patients to her, and they would say, the only thing we can figure is she loves them back to wholeness. And I think that love proceeds from this vision. And that's a part of where I think we find a depth to these things, these parts of our year that are radically different from other parts. Because I ask the question, what if we are all the child? What if we are all the child? What if all the children born tonight might be the child? Hold that thought for a moment, and let me share some more with you. In no way is this account meant to be instructional that I've just read. It's meant to be illustrative. But I cannot imagine a numinous experience such as this not having a transformation on how humanity should be seen. I don't know about you, but sometimes I struggle with how I should see humanity. Sometimes we do too. And one of the reasons why I'm a member here, one of the reasons why I fellowship here, is because this congregation gives me back reason to hope. And so I want to offer that to you as well tonight. For over 2,000 years, a large part of humanity strove for this Christ child. They wanted to be like him. They wanted to follow him. They wanted to venerate him, to worship him. And they wanted to rail against him, bringing brutal weapons against other owners of other doctrines in history. But what if we too are the only begotten children of God? Does that change anything here? Does it make a difference in our lives if we just consider that for a moment? And let your mind rest on that for a moment. And could it possibly change the way you see yourselves, the way we see you, the way you see me? Could it possibly change if we begin to think of our lives and our beings like that? When I begin to look closely, I also ask myself, into this particular story, what if not only are we all possibly, maybe, the Christ child, but what if we're all the Magi? What if all of us in this room, in this place right now, also are bearing gifts to each other to make a difference in our lives? What if we are all that source? Three things came, of course, we know that. There was the gold, there was the frankincense, and there was the myrrh. And the gold is an interesting addition, I think, to this particular part of the story of Christ's birth. Because gold itself has no real value in and of itself. Its value comes when you trade it for something and get a lot for it. Other than that, it's just pretty shiny material that sits in front of you. But when it begins to take on a new application, then it becomes valuable. Some of you may know that salt, for the longest time, was the currency of the realm. Roman soldiers were paid a day's wages in salt because they could sell it and buy food for themselves. Salt was one of the great things that protected and seasoned the meats of the world. So the salt became significant, not because it had any value in itself, but because it was a day's wage. As a matter of fact, the word salary comes from the S-A-L part of salt. So we have ourselves in this place where we begin to say the value is only in the thing. But there's something different here with you and me. Our value is not found in the way that we can exchange it for something. Our value, a part of our even faith, our value is our inherent worth and dignity. We need do nothing to acknowledge it. There's much that we can do to build it up, but we come here with that value. We come here with that richness. We come here with this place. And so when it comes to the gold, and if I'm a magi taking gold to, okay, you guys, then what is it that I hope to accomplish in that? Where do I find value in my gift to you? Where do you find value in your gift to me? Where is the value in that? I read a lot about these matters of things, and some of you have heard me refer to David Brooks' book, in which he begins to ask the question, how do we know someone and how are we fully known? And he writes in that book a way in which he expresses this. He says, when you're practicing illuminationism, that's David Brooks for you. When you're practicing illuminationism, you're offering a gaze that says, I want to get to know you and to be known by you. It's a gaze that positively answers the question everybody is unconsciously asking themselves when they meet you, am I a person to you? Am I a person to you? Do you see me? That's the start of the value. Not the end, but the start of assessing the value. Do you care about me? Am I a priority for you? The answers to those questions are conveyed in the gaze before you conveyed by your words? What is it you carry on your face? What is the question that's on your face? What is the hope that's on your face? It's a gaze that radiates respect. It's a gaze that says that every person I meet is unique, unrepeatable, and yes, superior in every way. Every person I meet is fascinating on some topic, Brooks writes. If I approach you in this respectful way, and I know that you're not a puzzle that cannot be solved, but a mystery that can be explored, then I do you the honor of letting you be as you are. That's value. Every one of us does this on Sunday mornings. Every one of us does this when we meet during the week. We bring that value to our lives and to our hearts. That's the gold of the first gift of the Magi. By the way, I love that word, Magi. It sounds like magicians. And it used to refer to them as magicians. But the magicians did something different in that century. They predicted the future. And they held to a future. That's where the magic came. So I see a brighter future. I see a different future. I see a future. And when that future showed up, ooh, they got respect. So that's a part of what the gifts are, and one part of the gift. And so as you hold your gold in your hand, are you seated beside a child of God now? Are they close to you? Thank you. In front of you, behind you, beside you, as you're seated there? Do they need your value? And how will you give them? How will you give them that value? Second gift, frankincense. Frankincense was used as incense, mostly burned in the sacred places of the tabernacle, the sacred places of the temple. And as it was being burned, it said to all of those who were able to be a part of that aroma, it would say to them, this is sacred territory. This is sacred space. One of the things I find most significant about looking inside ourselves and finding the fact that we are indeed sacred in our own hearts, sacred in our own world, sacred by simply having your presence here. Your sacredness is right here. Can you smell it? Is it in your lungs? Is it in your nose? Can you perceive your sacredness here? So as you look at the gold and as you look at the frankincense, the question is, how do I give this sacredness? How do I give this value? How do I communicate this in this world right now? How do I make this be a gift to the Christ child, to the child tonight? How do I make this happen? The third gift is myrrh. Again, it's another collection of resin from some of the trees in the area. But one of the things that you should know about the myrrh is it was used exclusively for wrapping the shrouds of a dead man, of a dead woman. The myrrh was wrapped inside the cloth of the shroud before the body is placed either in the ground or whatever the tradition was leading them to. And the reason why it was placed there is to cover the smell of the rot. It's kind of brutal, isn't it? And this is a gift that Magi brought to Jesus. And I'm sure Mary and Joseph, if this really happened, Mary and Joseph would be looking at him going, what are you doing here, man? 21st century translation. But as I look at that, and as I consider the other gifts, the gold and the frankincense, the other thing that occurs to me is that it's about forgiveness too, because you know what? We can stink things up, can't we? With our hearts, with our words, with our behavior, with our determination, sometimes with our greed, sometimes with our selfishness, we can smell. We can stink things up. And so myrrh becomes that mark of which you ask, I ask for forgiveness to cover that rotten part of life. Because guess what, you guys, we're all going to get there. We're all going to experience our own failures. We're all going to break our own promises. And we find ourselves coming back over and over and over again. And that's why the myrrh is so important. And so we come into this place and we look at the gifts. Let's pretend that you're looking at the gifts in your own lap right now. By the way, there were 3 gifts, but there was not necessarily 3 magi. That's just kind of tradition that picks up on that. But just look at the gifts. If you were to hold them in your hand, put them in your lap, then what would you do with them? How do you find that way to give it? So we have the opportunity to offer each other our value, and to help you find your own value, we offer that sacredness that we find inside our own hearts, and that we might be able to offer to you as well too. And we also have a way to be able to determine forgiveness and mercy through the myrrh. Why does this matter? Are we just talking about rainbows and unicorns? Or is it... you know, every once in a while I feel like I'm out of control. Happening right now. The Christ child is among us, speaking truth. Amen. So, one of the reasons why I think this is not just rainbows and unicorns is that I am willing to declare to you this day, the child is born, who, if allowed to follow his path fully, her path fully, will save his people from lung cancer, pancreatic cancer, brain cancer, breast cancer. I believe there's a child born perhaps in the last 30 minutes or so that has that skill, if allowed, to follow it. And I declare to you is born this day a child that will deliver her people from multiple sclerosis, cystic fibrosis. And I declare to you this day is born a child who will deliver his people from poverty and from ignorance. And I declare to you this day that a child is born that will deliver her people from mental illness and hopelessness. And I declare to you this day that a child is born that will deliver us from the ravages of a rapidly heating planet. They are born today, may already have been born. And you have the gold, and we have the frankincense, and we have the myrrh. Is this rainbows and unicorns? Or is this something else entirely different? That's why this night is so special. That's why we are, you are. So that's why this message is so special. Because it's in this that we ask ourselves the question, what if we are all the child tonight and every night? What if we are all wise people bringing our gifts to the child inside of all of us? And what if? What if? And how would that change you? And how would that change me? And how would that change each other if this is true? And so I offer it to you that you might be able to find that gift here and be reminded of how richly valuable you are, how sacred you are, and what a mess you'll make of life too. All of those things travel on the same rails. So I hope that this message has been meaningful to you. It's been meaningful to me. It's been a challenge to me. And I thank you for your attention.
So we're going to mix it up again here. The order of service has a song listed, but instead, this gentleman here, you've seen a few times over the last month, is Daniel Roberts, and this is his daughter. She played piano for us a couple of weeks ago. And this is Lilia. And Daniel's going to do a special song for us.
Hello, everyone. Lily's going to sing this one in the honor of the multicultural country and world that we are in. We'd like to sing a song that you all know, but we're going to do a Spanish version of it and then invite you to sing the English version afterwards. And Lily has much better key than I am, so she's going to take it away.
Caminar en un trineo por los caminos que blancos ya están. Nos paseamos con gritos de alegría, con cantos y risas de dicha caminar. Cascabeles, cascabeles, tras la la la. Que alegría todo el día, la 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 la. Cascabeles, cascabeles, la 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 la. Que alegría todo el día, la 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 la. Oh, qué felicidad caminar en un trineo por los bosques que lindos ya se ven. Nos paseamos con gritos de alegría y cascabeles agitados caminamos. Cascabeles, cascabeles, la 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 la. Qué alegría todo el día, la 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 la. Cascabeles, cascabeles, la 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 la. Qué alegría todo el día, la 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 la.
Well, that was really great. You all like to sing along? And what's the chorus song? You can everybody sing it with us, the English version. Say 1, 2. Ready? You gotta say 1, 2, 3, and go.
2, 3, 4. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. As on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What a fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey! Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Let's do the Batman and Robin version, please. Please. Jingle bells, Batman smells,
Robin laid an egg. Batmobile lost its wheel, jumping right away. Jingle bells, Batman smells, Batman laid an egg. Batmobile lost its wheel and jumping right away.
For the last several years at the candlelight service, we have read the reading For So the Children Come, otherwise known as Every Night a Child is Born is a Holy Night. And it was the reading that I was going to give tonight. So when Charlie opened up with that reading earlier, I thought, okay, he never fails to surprise me. So I ran to my office and I had this on my desk. And this, since we've already thought about the fact that every night a child is born is a holy night, tonight as we gather, let's think about the bridge builders. This is a poem or a reading that was written by someone named L.R. Nost, and it came across my desk and I liked it, so here we go. Let's think about the bridge builders, the hand holders, the light bringers, those extraordinary souls wrapped in ordinary lives who quietly weave threads of humanity into an inhumane world. They are the unsung heroes in a world at war with itself. They are the whisperers of hope that peace is possible. Look for them in this present darkness. Light your candle with their flame and then go. Build bridges, hold hands, bring light to a dark and desperate world. Be the hero that you are looking for. For peace is possible, and it begins with us. And now, in the hope that our lives will be filled with holy nights in which we may glory in the wonders of life beginning, let us now listen to the beautiful voice of Joanne Melosh as she sings, O Holy Night.
O holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angels' voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine, oh, night, now night divine. Truly he taught us to love one another. His law is love, and his gospel is peace. Chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother. And in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in graceful chorus praise we yonder know with new and glorious voice. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born, oh, night divine, oh, holy night.
So, Ann Harrison, where are you? My humble apology for stealing that from you. But I think it worked out better. I liked what you read. That was really excellent. But we do keep on our toes, right? Thank you. So this is the time of more part of what you have come here for, which is the candle lighting. What we're going to ask is that in some way that's absolutely miraculous, a lot like parting the Red Sea, if you could please begin to move to half of you to the outside of each of the walls and around the back, and there will be someone who will light a candle here and light a candle there, and then we'll begin to illumine the entire sanctuary. So if you would please choose a side, find somebody that you like or even don't like. Give them a little bit of gold and just a bit of frankincense, and maybe gather our hearts together. take just a moment to search your own hearts and see the light that's down inside you. Take a moment and let it warm you before we bring this to a stop. Thank you. Peacefully blow out your candles. And if you would please return to your seats for just a moment.
God, I couldn't light a candle. I know.
If you find a button like that when you're vacuuming, it's mine. I think it came off 3 rows behind you.
What's
Right
that?
here. It came off 3 rows behind you.
So I'd like to bring this service to a conclusion with these closing thoughts. Tish Hans is a good friend of this congregation, and she sent me this yesterday, and I told her that I would honor that gift. It writes like this: For a long time, I was led to believe that looking for the good in everything was a weakness, that it was naive and foolish to bring up a world that would try to tear me down, but to look for good, to be determined to find it, to believe that it exists in a world that has proved it is capable of harboring the complete opposite. I don't think that's weakness, and I don't think it's naive. I think it's hope, and I think it's faith. To rise from the dark, to stand before something that has tried to bury you, and to say, I'm still full of light. I think that's strength. Those who look for the good and assume the best are not going to do so because they think the world is always bright and sunny and gentle. They're doing it because if nobody looked for the light, if no one searched for the soft edges or sought out the warmth, then the world would be perpetually cold and dark and rough, and they know that the world deserves better than that. But mostly they're doing it because they know that if you don't look for something, if you assume that it just cannot be found, then there's a very good chance that you'll never find it. But they know it's there. The good, the light, the warmth, and they're determined to find it, even if it means becoming it themselves. Go become it. Blessings on you. If you would please stand while we extinguish the flame.
Please join me in the words that are in the order of service as we extinguish the chalice. While we extinguish this flame,
We still carry in our hearts the light